You are born on a poisoned rock. That is the good news. The good news is, you might become a living weapon. The bad news is almost everyone who tries this dies screaming, and the ones who live go a very specific kind of mad on purpose. This is what happens if you are born into the Blood Angels. Angels is a generous word. There are no feathers here, no halos. Just giants in red armor who fall from the sky and decide whether you are worth cutting open. Welcome to the far future, the 41st millennium. Humanity rules a million worlds and hates almost every second of it. The Imperium of man is enormous, ancient, and quietly failing apart. And somewhere in that rot, a tribe of desert children looks up at the stars and prays to be taken. You are one of those children, a tiny figure on cracked orange sand, one strip of red cloth tied around your arm. Remember that red strip. It is the only thing about you that survives what comes next. Here is the shape of your life, if you can call it that. You are born on Baal. You survive a desert that eats the weak for practice. You get chosen, which feels like whining and is not. You get opened up and rebuilt into something no longer quite human. Then you spend your remaining centuries holding back a thirst for blood wired into your own bones, dodging a madness that thinks it is a dead demigod, and finally dying somewhere useful. That is the promise. You will drink blood from a ritual cup. You will fall from orbit onto things that eat entire planets. And one day, your own mind may decide you are Sanguinius in his final hour, fighting a war that ended 10,000 years ago, and throw your body at the enemy until it stops moving. Every filter in this story has a body count. Every reward is a worse job with a longer contract. And the punchline, the one nobody on Baal ever laughs at, is that this is one of the best fates the Imperium has to offer. So before the giants arrive, before any of it, we have to go back. All the way back to the moment a squalling, domed, lucky infant takes its first breath of poisoned air. You are born on a rock that tried to kill everything before you got here. This is Baal, and its two moons, Baal Primus and Baal Secundus, are irradiated ruins. Something wrecked them long ago in wars so old that nobody remembers who started them, or why, or who lost. The records are gone, only the poison stayed. Your home is a scattered desert tribe, scraping a living from wasteland. Clean water is money here. A full jug can buy loyalty, a wife, or a knife in the dark. Mutation is not a horror story on Baal. It is Tuesday. Half the children born near you come out wrong, and the ones who come out right are just wrong in ways you cannot see yet. Your family huddles by a dead well, a cracked hole that gave up years ago. Above them, the sky is a dim red smear. Somewhere out there is a single broken spire, leaning, older than the tribe's oldest song. And the tribe does have songs. The best one is about the Sky Warriors, winged giants, they say, who fall from the clouds and take the strongest children away. Those children never come back. Nobody can agree on what that means. Some parents pray for it, some pray against it. They genuinely cannot tell if being chosen is heaven or death. Here's the part the songs leave out. It is mostly death, and the giants are not shopping for heroes. They are shopping for a container. They want your body and the organs inside it, because those organs can be replaced with something far more useful to them. You are the packaging. So a strange, dangerous hope drifts through the camp. Maybe your child is the one. Maybe your child gets pulled up into the sky and becomes something great. That hope is the bait. It pulls small Fett toward a filter designed to kill almost everyone who steps into it, and to smile while doing it. But none of that touches you yet. First, you have a much smaller problem. You have to survive long enough to even qualify, and the desert outside your tribe is already sharpening its questions. You are still alive. On Baal Secundus, that already makes you exceptional. The radiation wants you dead before you can walk. The water wants you dead too, because most of it is poison, and the little that is not belongs to someone stronger. You learn to ration thirst the way other worlds ration coins. A full jug is not a drink, it is a target, so you fight. Not for glory, not for a cause, just for the next mouthful. Two children brawling in the dust over a single clay jug is not a tragedy here. It is a Tuesday. You grow up warlike, because the alternative is not growing up at all. The wildlife helps thin the crowd. Somewhere out past the dunes lives a mutant thing with too many teeth, and one day you met it with a sharpened stick and a lot of hope. You win, or you become its meal. Whining teaches you a lesson the desert repeats often. Everything out here is auditioning you, and it never tells you the results. By your teens, you have already killed. On most worlds, that would follow you for life. On Baal, it is a line on a resume you did not know you were writing. Survivor, fighter, not a volunteer, a proven thing. The tribe's rember who stood their ground during famine and who ran. Reputation travels faster than water. Here is the part nobody explains. The winged giants from the old stories do not want the loudest boy who dreams of the sky. They want the one who lived. Courage, strength, a stubborn scrap of nobility, even in a feral wasteland child. They are not looking for eager hands raised high. They are looking for the one still standing when the dust settles. And that means you have been in a job interview your whole life. Every fight, every crossing of an empty dune line, every night you did not die was a question with a lethal answer. You just never saw the interviewer. Then one day the light changes. The sky splits open above the wastes. The legends stop being legends, and the giants come down to see what the desert has been keeping for them. The sky finally opens, and the legends step out of it. The giants are real. They stand taller than your hut, painted deep red, moving like the desert forgot to warn them it was dangerous. Your tribe calls them the Sky Warriors. That is just the name feral survivors give to space marines. The ones who fall from orbit to take the strongest children away. Not a separate people, not spirits, just the same red giants sent from below. A huge, armored figure walks the line of kneeling children and raises one hand. It points at you. Your whole tribe bows. Someone weeps with pride. You feel it too, that warm rush of being chosen, of mattering. Hold on to that feeling, because it is your first mistake. Nobody kneeling in that dust understands what being chosen actually means. The trial is almost insultingly simple. Cross the deadliest stretch of your already deadly world, on foot, toward a distant fortress monastery. In most tellings, that fortress is the Arx Angelicum, carved into the mountains of Baal itself. The Sky Warriors do not carry you. They do not slow down. They watch, so you walk. A column of small figures sets out across the wastes, and the wastes begin subtracting them. Thirst takes the first. Old wounds take the next. Some fall to the heat, some to the terrain, and some, when the water runs low, to each other. Nobody stops. Behind the column, the desert fills with shapes that used to be children who were also chosen. This is where the truth lands. The selection is a filter, and the filter has a body count. The recruiters are not cruel for entertainment. They are cruel with purpose. To strain out anyone who lacks the endurance, the courage, or the raw will to reach the gate. Somehow, that is worse. Cruelty with a reason cannot be talked out of. Dawn breaks over a broken skyline. A single figure, with a red strip one arm, staggers up the last rise. Alone, more corpse than boy. The fortress doors open ahead, and waiting inside, patient in their red robes, are the priests. They are holding knives, and they are glad you came. You reach the fortress. The doors close behind you. The priests in red are waiting, and they are holding knives. They call themselves sanguinary priests. They are the chapter's doctors, in the loosest possible sense of the word. They lay you on a cold slab under a machine the size of a chapel. Then they begin aiding parts. This is how a space marine is actually made, not with training montages. With surgery, they implant engineered organs called gene-sed, grown from the genetic legacy of the dead Primarch himself. In most accounts, there are 19 of them, fed into your body over years, one careful horror at a time. You get a second heart. You get new lungs that breathe poison. You get an organ that lets you spit acid. You get an organ that lets you sleep with half your brain, while the other half stays on watch. This is not a gift. It is an installation, and you are the hardware. Every single implant can kill you. Your body can reject the seed. It can transform wrong and leave you a twitching mutant the chapter quietly disposes of. The records are honest about this part. Most who reach the slab do not walk off it as anything worth keeping, but say you survive. Say your body accepts all 19. You are rebuilt into something enormous, something that could snap your old tribal self in half without noticing. The little figure who crossed the desert is gone. What stands up is property of the chapter and the Emperor now. Here is the part nobody mentions while they congratulate you. The gene seed of the Blood Angels carries a defect, a flaw buried in the blood, older than you, older than the fortress. And inside that flaw sits a memory that was never yours. It belongs to the demigod, who died screaming 100 centuries ago, and it has been waiting patiently for a fresh body to wake up in. The priests hand you the red grail. You drink because you are told to, and somewhere in your rebuilt chest, that borrowed memory opens one eye and decides it is hungry. Here is your new hobby, not eating people. The old you had a job, a family, a name. The new you has a craving, and it never fully switches off. They call it the red thirst. It is a hunger for blood, wired straight into the gene seed that rebuilt you. Most stories tie it to the death memory buried in that new blood, the last moments of Sanguinius, replaying below the surface of your mind. His grief, his fury, his end, all of it leaking into your bones as a thirst you can taste. So you manage it. You will spend centuries managing it. You meditate. You pray. You kneel, while a sanguinary priest lifts the red grail and offers you a controlled sip, just enough to keep the beast quiet. This is medicine, not indulgence. Miss a ritual, and the beast files a complaint. Miss too many, and the beast takes the wheel. Picture yourself in armor, dot eyes clenched, a faint red glow around you. Behind you crouches a snarling red shadow, straining at a leash only your discipline is holding. That shadow is not a metaphor to your brothers. It is the thing every one of them fights, every day, forever. A shared curse, a beast inside every man in red. In a fight, this is a gift. Enemies fall, and the red strip on your arm glows brighter. The thirst surges, and it makes you faster, meaner, gloriously hard to stop. Managed, you are the most terrifying thing on the field. Unmanaged, the surge does not stop when the enemy does. It keeps going. You stop seeing foes and start seeing meat. A brother lost to it becomes a berserk killer who does not check who he is swinging at. So between battles, you are something stranger. A very disciplined addict, a saint with clenched fists. One bad day from a war crime, held together by prayer and a ritual cup. The records are honest about one thing. Discipline can fail, not might. Can. It has, in every generation of your chapter, and it always will. Which raises the only question that really matters. What happens on the day the beast wins, and never gives the wheel back? One day, the discipline breaks, not with a bang, with a memory that was never yours. The black rage floods your mind with the death of Sanguinius. Every blood angel carries that death memory buried in the gene seed, and when your control finally fails, it plays back at full volume and casts you in the lead role. You do not remember your name. You do not remember the war you are actually fighting. You believe you are the winged Primarch in his last hour, holding the line against the War Master Horus. The brothers beside you become strangers. The battlefield becomes the Heresy. You are convinced you are a demigod with wings and a golden blade. You are actually a stickman in black armor, about to run at a tank. They see it happen. They know what it means. They take you, and they paint your armor black, and they fold you into the death company, the ones who are not coming back. This is not a hospital ward. Nobody expects a recovery. In most tellings, the Black Rage is a death sentence dressed up as a duty. The High Chaplain, Asterath the Grim, travels the galaxy for exactly this. He arrives to grant what Imperial records call the Emperor's Mercy, a blade over a kneeling brother, or to point the lost at a battle terrible enough to matter. Chaplains lead the death company into charges no sane unit would survive. The afflicted feel no pain, they feel no fear. They charge until something finally stops them, which it always does. Here is the cruel footnote. One brother in your chapter's history fell into the rage and clawed his own mind back out. Mephiston, the Lord of Death. 1. He is famous precisely because he is the exception, the single name held up against every brother the rage simply kept. Do not build your retirement around those odds. So that is the ceiling of your career, not a medal, a black repaint, and a glorious sprint into something huge. But you are not there yet. Most brothers are still holding the line, still sane, still swinging, and the way they swing is its own kind of spectacle. If you live long enough to actually serve, you finally get the fun toys. The Blood Angels fight up close, fast, and loud, and they hand you the kit to match. A jump pack straps to your back so you can fall on the enemy from the sky. It is a rocket that exists purely so you can land on someone. Subtle it is not. Then there is the Chainsword, which is exactly what it sounds like, a sword. with a chain that spins. You point it at a problem, and the problem stops being a problem. For the elite brothers, there are power blades that hum with killing energy, and Terminator armor so heavy and thick that the wearer becomes a walking bunker. For crowd control, you carry a flamer for the moments when subtlety fails, which is always. And when you met something armored, you reach for a melt-a-weapon, a short-range gun that melts tanks like candle wax. Everything you own is built for one job: close the distance and end it. Sometimes the distance closes for you. A drop pod is a metal capsule that drops from orbit and slams into the ground at sped, spilling armored giants right into the enemy line. No knocking. Your entire combat doctrine is arrival as a threat. A blood angel who fights at range is basically a blood angel who is bored, and the things you fight are worth the trouble. There is chaos, traitors older than your civilization. There are orcs who treat war as a hobby. There are heretics, endless and interchangeable. And there are the Tyranids, hive fleets that eat entire worlds down to bare rock. During the devastation of Baal, Hive Fleet Leviathan came for your homeworld itself, and the chapter fought a war above their own dying sun to hold it. Home defense, for you, means orbital genocide against a swarm that showed up hungry. For a moment, this is the fantasy working exactly as advertised. You are strong, you are fast, and you fall from the sky like a verdict. Then the numbers arrive, because for all the glory and all the toys, almost nobody makes it this far. So let's stop dreaming and total up your actual odds. Let's total up your odds. Baal considers countless children, every desert tribe, every scavenger camp, every kid tough enough to reach recruiting age gets weighed and measured. Almost none of them make it. The trials thin the crowd first. Most die in the wastes before they ever see the fortress. Then the surgery takes its cut. New organs go in one by one, and each one can kill you, reject you, or turn you into something the priests quietly dispose of. Then the training thins the rest. Say you beat all of it. Say you are one of the rare few who walks out in red armor. You still carry the curse. The Redurst never leaves. The black rage waits at the edge of every fight, patient, ready to flood your mind with the dead demigod's final hour. That is why a whole chapter is only about 1,000 warriors at full strength. The galaxy does not run out of enemies. It runs out of blood angels. And the prize for whining every filter? Centuries of war, no family, no home to return to, no retirement, no pension, no quiet years at the end. The end is a battlefield. It was always going to be a battlefield. Look at Commander Dante. He has held the top job for more than 1,000 years. Oldest living space marine in the Imperium, and every image of him carries the same weight in the shoulders. He has buried more brothers than most worlds hold people. He looks tired because he has earned the right to. So here's the joke the whole story was building toward. Being born a blood angel is one of the best fates the Imperium of Man has to offer. Superhuman body, brotherhood, a place among legends. And it is still a horror story from start to finish. If you were ever born into this chapter, remember that you are one of the lucky ones. In a galaxy this cruel, that is the darkest punchline of all. There are worse ways to be born, though. Far worse corners of this dying Imperium, and far stranger fates waiting in them. Somewhere out there, another poisoned world is spining up another life that thinks it drew a bad hand. We should probably go see whose.